Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sherry Farmer-Hebert. We are learning about the play Infected with actor Allan Knoll and set designer Farmer-Hebert. Now, Allan, you're the only actor in this play.
In this play, yeah.
And Patrick, you're the only guy who's designing the set too, right?
That's right.
Or do you have a little help?
No, the set design, we have a whole design team, lighting design, projection design, and set design. So I get the set aspect of it, that's correct.
And where do you get your inspiration as far as, did you just read the script and you're like, okay, this is what I see? How do you work visually?
Yeah, it's tricky because the script has, just like it has no punctuation, there's no stage direction, no set description. It opens with a traitor in quarantine, and that's all. That's all you have. So it's conversations with the director and going through and kind of developing a concept. So what does it mean to be in quarantine? So what is the risk? You put someone in quarantine because they're a risk to the community somehow. And there's obviously a disease, the name of the show, Infected. But there's also the possibility of like a computer, like a virus infection, and the greed that you were talking about earlier, and just kind of capitalism as an infection of society and culture. So he's at risk for, there are many ways that his character is a risk to the rest of the society. And so the question becomes, how literal do you take that? And so we came up with a pretty literal thing where he is in quarantine with a very delineated space around him, and the crew for the show is all visible for the show, and they're all in scrubs and everything. And so we create this kind of quarantine on many levels that he exists in.
And how many, are there different set changes, or do you just have the one set?
It's just the one set. And you get the sense, and I think Patrick Seiler's concept was that this is something that happens on a regular basis, that people are brought in to study the subject. And so he's kind of performing, we are all there to study and see what we can learn and maybe help prevent the disease from spreading.
So is it almost like you have a lot of folks in scrubs looking at him, but can you see them all? While they're looking at you? Okay.
Yeah.
And there are places where he literally addresses the people about, you know, when am I going to get out of here, or I need a drink of water or something like that.
And how long did it take you once you got your concept? Do you do rough drawings first and then go from there, or
I think the first big challenge is we're in the Black Box Theater at the Kranzberg Center, which is a 30 by 45 foot empty blank space.
So you do have limitations because of size.
Because there are no, I mean, it's just a pure open space, that there's also any possibility. So like when I was brought onto this show, we were just finishing Sweet Revenge upstream in the same space, where we had a proscenium arrangement. We'd actually reproduced a basement theater with tiers of seating going up on one side. Before that, I've done shows in there completely in the round in various configurations. So pretty much once you get that configuration, that audience-actor relationship set up, everything else pretty much falls into place. One of the fun things about working with this company in a space like that is that you really don't start with any assumptions. When it's non-narrative storytelling like this, I know that it's pretty much, it's like, okay, we're going to have the actor in the same room as the audience, right? And it's like, well, let's talk about that first and make sure. And then so you kind of narrow down all the possibilities.
And about how long did it take you from start to finish?
I had a model, a digital model, in maybe 3 or 4 days. And then it's just a matter of drafting things from there and getting the exact things, making sure we can fit enough audience in the space.
And as far as, like, are you a builder too?
Oh, no.
Okay. I didn't know if you were in there with the hammer and nails and paint.
I used to in my younger days, but now, no. It's draw it up, develop elevations, plans, paint elevations, and we have Joe Novak at Theater Marines, builds there and for other companies I work with from around town. So,
and you're also teaching the future of theater.
Yes, I also teach at Mary Institute Country Day School and direct and design shows out there. So I know when we took this show on, the Sweet Revenge it got pretty hairy right towards the end. A lot of hours, a lot of late nights, and I was talking to Patrick Seiler one night about, I think that we're going to kind of chill on doing more shows. And he's like, yeah, I think so. And the next night, he's like, hey, I've got this play coming up in February. Are you available? It's like, of course, yes, yeah, absolutely. So.
Oh, that's so exciting. And had you two met before this?
Yes.
Yes, we both, as a designer, the Polish Eggman about 10 years ago at a little church up on Skinker. That was one of the first spaces that Upstream occupied before we got a real theater with lights like we have here. Also, my son was in a show with him for Insight, Our Town. So yeah, my son was was one of the actors in that show.
Well, that's awesome, because here in St. Louis, you know, there's just a few degrees of separation of us all.
That's right.
And the U.S. premiere of Infected, written by Albert Ostermeyer, is about a psychological study of a man and society infected by greed. Will be shown at the Kranzberg Arts Center located at 501 North Grand. For more information, call 314-863-4999 or visit upstreamtheater.org. There's more STL Live after this. Stay with us.